is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin' Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
What I would like to do to start off this edition of Talking Cowboys is to have Mickey Spagnola sing Happy Days Are Here Again.
I think the free world has been saved.
You do?
I do.
You know the song?
Let's
hear it. Happy Days Are Here Again.
Does he know the song?
There you go. Brian Broaddus comes through for us.
I expected to see the band playing outside of Customs last night at DFW. Goodness gracious.
And here's Rob.
Over my head.
Zeke's back in the country.
He's back here at the Star, and we're going to find out real quickly what kind of shape Zeke Elliott is in. It is steaming hot out there, and the Cowboys are about to practice on the practice field outdoors here.
Football practice.
Football practice, and virtually everybody's back.
Against football players, too.
That's right. They've got football blocking sleds and stuff out on the field.
Did you go to the airport?
I did not go to the airport. I had other people at the airport, though. I did see the helicopters overhead as I was doing a live shot here at the Tostitos Championship Plaza at 4, 5, and 6 yesterday.
Slow news day?
Yeah.
What a show these last 12 hours have been,
It
man.
has. It's never a dull moment around here. And it was all so predictable back when the Cowboys first reported to training camp in Oxnard, California on, what was it, July 25th or 26th?
Mickey's throwing his hands up. He told us. He told us.
I did.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pull up my column?
No,
we
I
knew.
don't.
I can do it for you.
We knew at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, September, is this the 4th?
Yes.
The 4th, that Zeke Elliott would be walking back out on that practice field, and there he goes.
Didn't think that he was get that extension, though, did you, Mickey? Or did you just think he wouldn't miss game checks?
I thought either one would happen, that he either get the extension, they would get it done, but he was not going to miss a game check. No way. They never do. 99.9%.
Did you expect him to get the highest contract ever for a running back?
Well, let's see. Let's see when the numbers come out.
Based on reports.
Well, no, let's not base it on
$50 million guaranteed.
reports.
I'm just saying right now.
That's
what the
what we
reports
know
are.
right
That's
now.
based on the,
let's base it on what we know right now.
Based on the agent. But you got to add 2 years to 6. It's an 8-year, $104 million deal.
Yeah.
Do the math.
Yeah, I'm doing the math.
It's
the most
13 a
ever
year
for a running back.
It's 13 a year.
Okay, it's the most total money in a contract that a running back's ever
but
made.
it's 8 years.
The extension is the most average per year for a running back.
The extension.
There you go.
Do you ever wonder why they didn't start at that number then? Or maybe they did.
I think maybe they did. Or maybe they started close. The team, I think, started close enough to arrive at it.
Sure.
But we don't know where the player started.
Mickey makes a point, though, about the agent. You think the agent knew what the hell he was doing in this one? I mean, I know I'm asking you guys a question that you have to have to say something maybe poorly about a guy.
Well, I think
to me, this seems like it's pretty cut and dry. If in fact that this was, if they were looking at $12, $13 million a year, I mean, that seems like why wouldn't the agent not agree to that in the first place if that's what they offered?
If you look at what Todd Gurley's guarantee averaged, it was $12.5 million. If you look at what Le'Veon Bell's averaged, it was $13.5 million. So they split the difference.
Yeah, why couldn't that have been?
Why couldn't you done that in the first place?
Yeah. Now maybe the Cowboys were in a mode where they're like, listen, we maybe we can try and get this thing a little cheaper. Maybe, but every indication, heck, Rob, you were with me at the combine in Indianapolis. Stephen Jones talked about it's going to start at Todd Gurley,
and
started at Todd Gurley,
and that's what happened.
Yeah, and then so I mean, I know I work for this football team, but I'd like to know who all of a sudden woke up at 6 a.m. and decided, oh wait, let's make this thing $13 million. Should have been done months ago. If that's in fact the case, and that's just as much on Zeke's side too. Depending on what you're hearing, reports that they didn't understand the 30% rule. I mean, if you do not understand how the cap works, I don't know how you negotiate these deals. I really don't. And if that was the holdup because of the agent, shame on them for allowing that. But, everybody, hey, they got their deal done. But this is something that probably could have been avoided if the numbers, like Mickey said, we'll check and see. But if they come out to like $12.5, $13 million, this should have been done months ago.
I mean, think about it. If you started this off back in July and I asked you, what do you think he's going to average? What's fair? I think you probably would have said $13 million a year.
Absolutely, I would have.
You wouldn't have said 15, would you?
I would have said $15 million on the extension, but the $13 million when you factor in the.
I'm just saying. I'm reading body language here, Rob.
No, I mean, I'm just in my mind. I'm thinking it's hard to know because we don't know back and forth what was being discussed for the last 40 days or whatever. But you're
obviously not the right thing.
But it's in line with the top backs. And what I was referring to was the total guaranteed money from the reports is the most we've seen for a running back. So it looks like a win for Zeke. The Cowboys get him in time for the opener. He's going to practice today and very likely will play in this game. It's on some level. I mean, it seems like a win for both sides. I don't know. I mean, I'm with you. I think if he had come into camp to start things off, direct line with the agent then, that might have spurred things along quicker because
I don't think it would. I think if he would have, I think he did what he had to do in order to get what he got with 2 years left on his contract.
Do you think? No. I think that. But they wanted to sign him.
They wanted to, but I don't know that they would have arrived at this. But this is exactly where I thought they would arrive at, right here.
And the other thing about
in the opinion of the agent, they could not get here unless he held out. In my opinion,
because he wouldn't have been top priority.
I just don't think that's
because he would have been below Dak and
because the urgency wouldn't have been there because he's there. Then he would have had to walk out of camp in order if they did not resolve it and get this right now.
Why does it appear to me they have more of a fear of signing Dak than they do Zeke? I mean,
it's a different number. It's a whole other realm.
Oh, I understand,
of money.
But I'm saying though, you're in a situation where I think if Ezekiel Elliott would have practiced, they could have gone in there and he could have said, "Listen, this is what I'm feeling. This is how I'm going to." I feel like that the Cowboys. Okay, what do you have in mind? Well, what about $12.5 million? A year. I'm hearing you got money to sign everybody. I'm here to try and negotiate this thing.
I think as much as the organization coaches talk about how important training camp is, and with this player, training camp wasn't that important from the team standpoint.
Maybe it's not important with any running back.
But you can't. But for a quarterback has to be at training camp. You can't function as a team. You can't get your team ready without the quarterback being there.
I don't know. We've seen it. It was important for a wide receiver a few years ago. Dez was signed in time for camp, but he missed the offseason program, and I think that affected him.
But I'm saying for this player, for this running back,
we'll see.
I don't think it mattered whether he was at training camp or not. We'll see starting Sunday whether it mattered or not, but I don't think it really mattered whether he was there or not. But in the case of Dak, I think they probably had some ongoing discussions to avoid Dak doing what Zeke has done and missed training camp, because you cannot have your quarterback miss training camp.
Well, I agree with you on that.
But
that's where it's kind of apples and oranges a little bit, in my opinion, because I think the running back, he'll be good to go on Sunday, in my opinion.
Yeah, but how much?
For a full load?
We'll see.
No way.
Well, that's the other thing. How many? How many snaps do you expect? What percentage of snaps do you expect?
What do you think?
20-25.
I was going to say 30% at the most.
Yeah.
Really?
They're going to work around this. Get ready. I mean, they're going to work around, because they've got to figure out, though, okay, if he only plays 20% of the snaps, how about the other snaps? That's Pollard. Okay, what about the other stuff that they have to do potentially in pass protection?
Then who do you go with there?
Olawale. Because
you got to cut somebody.
Yeah, and you got to cut somebody. And you know what? I don't think.
And by the way, that doesn't have to happen until the end of the week.
Saturday at 3 o'clock.
So they got a week extension.
Yeah.
They do, and they are carrying an extra back now because they signed Chun, Monday?
Yeah.
So, they got a decision to make there. So
by 3 p.m. on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And back to this total. It's 6 years, right?
Yeah.
Is that the longest extension any running back's gotten?
Why are you making this such a big deal about this?
I'm just trying to make it make sense. Because if I give you more years, you're going to get more money, right? If I only give you a 4-year extension, you're not going to get $90 million.
That's
the guys that have been
That's how you get to $90 million.
The guys that have been getting the shorter extensions have been these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The quarterbacks are the ones that have been getting the shorter extensions, 4 years. If you look at all the deals of recent, they've all been 4 years, and then people figuring out from there, and then maybe redoing the deal.
And then the other thing is when's the guarantee run out? How many years of that base salary exists without a guarantee covering it?
Those are the details that aren't out there yet.
Right.
I'm just talking about the total number.
Yeah, I'm talking about the total number.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
It's the total number of guarantee is about $64 million. Right?
Right.
$64 million over 8 years. That's only 8 years. That's only $8 million a year.
Yeah.
So you got to know when the guarantee runs out.
Right.
And we'll know in due time.
Well, we'll get the details of the contract, and we'll figure it all out.
And I don't think it was ever really about the per year salary. It was about how much money is he going to get in his hand immediately.
I mean, it's like
that's what it always is for NFL contracts.
It's like La'el Collins. After 3 years, the fully guaranteed stuff expires, right? And then only a portion of the fourth year is guaranteed the fifth day of the league year, and the last 2 years of his contract, $10 million base, 23, 24, no guarantees.
Yeah.
So I'm taking $20 million off that total of 58.5. It's 48.5. And then the last 2 years are bonus money.
Numbers give everybody headaches.
Yeah, I know. They do.
And Mickey, I appreciate being on the show with all the numbers because I don't have the stomach to do everything you just did right there. But, it always bothers me about the deal. And that's why I brought up and that's why I went on that little soapbox thing because to me, if it was going to be 12 or 13, why wasn't this done months ago? Why does it have to come down to, he did what he thought was best, hold out. And the Cowboys said, well, wait a minute, okay, what are you looking for? What are you looking for here? He said, well, I'm looking for this. And it's like, okay, well, how about this? Why does it have to come down to?
And that's what Stephen Jones said the first day of training camp.
Yeah.
That these things typically come down to just a few hours of hashing it out, and it's just a question when that happens. And it happened overnight and last night.
I still believe if he was here, if he'd have gone through training camp, they would have had an opportunity to do this deal.
Think of this: if in the new CBA, if they say if you don't show up on time for training camp, you can't play the rest of the year, it would get done right before the start of training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Your holdout would be
deadline,
the offseason.
It's all deadline driven.
It's all deadline. And nothing's changed since the salary cap came into process in 1994. It's always the same. The agent puts out this big number to make himself look good, and then the number's inflated. But everybody out there is saying, oh, Zeke won. Look what he did. He won. No one won.
And that's why we'll know Sunday afternoon whether to second guess this whole thing or not. Because if he can't play, in my opinion, if he can't play at least half the snaps on Sunday afternoon, then you're right. This thing had to be done earlier than Wednesday of the first week.
I think it's caught them by surprise, by the way.
Yep.
I think the holdout caught them by surprise.
There was a seat for him on the plane, Doc.
Sure there was.
Bill, we'll see. I don't see them giving him 60 snaps. We'll find out.
I don't either.
Jason Garrett said we'll watch him this week. He looks like he's in very good shape. We'll see what happens. One more thing about the contract thing. Tank, same thing. You saw the final deal and you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. But it really took up until an artificial deadline of he's got to have this surgery. Mm-hmm. How do you prorate that out for the recovery time? And it's always the way it goes. There's always this dance involved.
And I bet he's not ready to play half the snaps.
That's the other thing. Yeah, that's the other thing where, okay, why didn't that thing get done earlier?
Yeah. It always just amazes me when you get to the final. We'll get to the final number, whatever the final number is. But if you look at it and you say he's getting $12 million a year, okay, well, how does it? Okay, he's getting 13. Okay, well, why not? Why didn't we talk about this to begin with? Why is this why is this all of a sudden it is impossible to do? And again, I'm asking the Cowboys side and I'm asking the agent side. I know there's some questions about that agent. Trust me, I know some questions about that guy and what that tactic he used. So I'm just telling you that it amazes me that you have to go through all this to everybody feel good about Zeke coming back out on the field and playing. Just my 2 cents.
When can we sneak a peek at practice?
Well, they started right now.
They're going to go to break.
But my understanding is they will be in pads, and Zeke will be in pads.
Okay, I'm trying to time this break on so that Mickey or Rob or someone can.
We'll let Mickey go.
We can go
outside.
This will be the one day we get to watch
sneak
it.
a peek
out there and walk it.
outside,
Yeah.
and because they are outside today, we can actually see if 21 has made it out on the practice field.
No, he's out there.
Next
Believe
here
me.
on Talking Cowboys. That was a.
Your new apartment's big. Such a great deal.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not to...
It's right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus!
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store and learn how to buy one smartphone and get a second one on us. Based on GWS 1 score, September 2018.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with sideline access and photo ops with current players, alumni, and cheerleaders. That's not all, though. You'll get to talk X's and O's with Senior Director of Player Personnel Will McClay, and of course with yours truly, me, Brian Broaddus. You can trust the official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and with us, you'll travel like a pro. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Work the Cowboys way and channel the winning business tradition of the Dallas Cowboys and the Jones family at Formation. This dynamic workspace provides an elevated work experience on the Star's aspirational campus with exclusive membership options available to meet varying needs. Choose from open workspaces, dedicated desks, and private offices to leverage our home field advantage for your individual business success. Limited memberships are available now, so apply today at formation@thestar.com.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
And we're back. Don't miss your chance to see the Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium this Sunday, September 8th, as they take on the New York Giants to kick off the season. Get your tickets now at DallasCowboys.com. Those single game tickets are still available. Bill Jones.
Breaking news.
Oh, it's up. It's on you.
Is he doing
Breaking
push-ups?
news. He is on the practice field.
All right.
He was difficult to spot because you could not see the number 21 because his jersey is all tucked under and you can see his blue undershirt, T-shirt underneath.
They have his abs out?
I can't. My eyes aren't good enough to see. They are in the far field. The first use of the new field.
New field?
Yeah. So the new grass field on the far end that they did not have access to throughout the offseason, but they are out there now. And I understand the temperature today is getting up to around 100, 101 degrees. And just walking in from the parking lot, it already feels like it's up there now. So we're going to get a good test to see what kind of shape Mr. Elliott is in.
How hot is it in Cabo, though? Can't be.
Yeah, that's right.
It's 100 every day at this time of year.
Yeah.
Okay, so he is going to be in great shape.
I don't know if he was wearing pads every day on the beach or wherever he was training, but, you know.
Was he training with football people? 88 degrees right now.
88 right now here.
But feels like
108.
100.
Yeah.
Back to
100.
that discussion, because Brian's a true football guy. Jason Garrett. Well, I mean, you played at a high level. You've been a scout.
Appreciate that. You're awful kind.
Well, Jason Garrett always says there's no substitute for practicing against football players.
Sure.
Is it not that it doesn't apply to a running back of his caliber, or do you think he really needs it these last 40 days?
The first time he is going to get hit is on Sunday afternoon.
In the last however many months, because they didn't hit
Jabril Peppers is going to have to come and fill in the alley and hit him one time, and then that's when reality sets in for him. But if, like we all think, that he's going to play 20, 25 plays, I think they'll work around him. They really do like Pollard a lot. They just don't trust Pollard right now in the blitz pickup stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see Olawale in there making up for the not being Zeke not being in there. So yeah, I think they're gonna find a way to work around this the best way they can. But he's not going to get hit until Jabril Peppers comes flying up from safety. That'd be the first time he's going to get any contact since the Rams game last year.
So how is that different from other training camps that he has gone through?
I think that, to me, I think there's things that he's done in training camp. It's not the hit. The guys, if he was in this training camp, Joe Thomas or Leighton Vander Esch or Jalen Smith or Sean Lee would have bumped him or would have let him know he's there.
Love tap.
Yeah, and that's
and
what we
it's
saw.
also just seeing those colors fly by.
It's the flash. It's the handing. It's the timing of plays and stuff. And the fact he's a veteran player and it's a veteran offensive line, they'll get their timing with that. The guy they probably need more timing with will be Pollard if they're going to run some of these plays. But I think things will be fine. Again, the contact will be the only problem for him initially, and Zeke is a punisher himself. So I'm sure when Jabril Peppers comes flying up there, he's going to hit him just as hard as Peppers is trying to hit him.
I wonder if they had the little gauntlet they run through, when you kind of get hit in training camp, or the pads. When
they had it in Cabo. It's 88 in Cabo right now, right?
All right.
Okay.
No, I said that here.
No, it's 92
90.
here.
Okay.
It's 92 here. So there you go.
That's
now
fine.
we've got the facts out on that.
Frisco says 88.
Mickey wants the facts on the contract. I want to get the facts on the weather out there.
Yes. He will step up.
I wonder what Jerry Jones has to say about this. One of the reasons that there is not a press conference this morning to announce this is that Jerry Jones is not on the premises here.
Where's he at, Bill?
The New York Stock Exchange ringing the bell as Comstock Resources bought, I'm trying to remember, Covey something for $2.2 billion. Celebration of that. That's why. And so Jerry was making the rounds on CNBC, probably some other networks as well. And he was asked what the signing of Zeke means to this season, the team, and everything.
I just turned my pockets out upstairs. It means I'm $100 million lighter as of this morning. But seriously, Zeke has been arguably our best player. I'm not trying to be unfair to anybody else, but he's an incremental part to our success. We're glad to get him booked in. We're glad to have him on the team. He plays a position that has some pretty interesting dynamics to it, because running backs are short-lived, although we had what I consider to be one of the top 5 greatest ones in Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt ran the ball for 13 years. So you don't have to have a 4 or 5 year career to be a running back. On the other hand, Zeke allows us to create such problems for the defense that then we can open it up to our passing, open it up for Dak Prescott. Of course, we got to have some guys on defense to get those guys the ball. That's what this is all about.
There you go.
That's what Jerry thinks about it.
He said Zeke's got a big heart and a much bigger pocketbook now, by the way, too. That was the money line, I thought. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
We haven't heard what the signing bonus is, have we?
No, I have not heard.
20 million, probably somewhere in that vicinity.
And I'm trying to think, Gurley was around that, $15 million, I think, signing bonus.
Because the signing bonuses have been going down, and they've been putting option and roster bonuses in there.
Yeah.
And so we expect a press conference tomorrow?
Yes.
Is that what we're expecting? That has not been set yet, right?
Not officially.
Okay.
I'm setting it right now.
Okay, there you go.
Well, you could talk to Mickey.
Always.
As we mentioned earlier, there's a roster exemption, so the Cowboys have not had to make a corresponding move with Zeke out on the practice field, and they won't have to until 3 o'clock on Saturday. So who do you think? We have a question from James Hurst.
Yeah.
Who do you think the odd man out will be?
Alfred Morris. I think it's Alfred Morris. I think they've got this running back situation now where they'll go with Zeke, they'll go with Pollard. Chun could play special teams if they need him to play special teams. We could see maybe he gets switched out, something like that. We'll see. But I have a feeling that they're going to move on from Alfred Morris. Alfred Morris was bought. He was really, as Mickey would say, he was a $900,000 insurance policy if Zeke didn't show up.
Which was like $730 against the cap.
$730 against the cap. You're absolutely right. So they paid him a little bit. His family was here. He got to go through training camp. They protected themselves. I think they'll move on. I just don't. People will say, oh, well, they might cut a guard or this or that. We talk about they're at 10 offensive linemen now. Maybe the kid Brandon Knight. I just don't think that's it. you don't want to put young offensive linemen out there. Go ahead and put Alfred Morris out there and let him, he did what he had to do to help you, to get you through the training camp portion and also protect you in case Zeke didn't sign. So I think they move on from him.
And Mickey, let me ask you, because there was a lot of talk out there about him being a veteran and his roster or his contract by being on the roster the first week of the season, guaranteeing his salary for this season.
Right.
And because he's on the roster today, he has the option.
Guarantee it, yeah. Right. And he only got like a $90,000 signing bonus, which we act like that's
But they did
nothing.
him a solid keeping him until now.
They did.
They
did.
So
and he's
he gets his pay.
Yeah, and if you trust ESPN, the Periscope is saying it's a $7.5 million signing bonus. So I don't know. I'm just, again, that's coming from ESPN.
7.5?
7.5 is what they're saying.
Quite low.
Yeah, that's what that's what I'm saying.
Because if you divide that by you can prorate the signing bonus over only 5 years.
Yeah, it seems like several people on Periscope. Let's see. I'm just saying that's ESPN. That's on Periscope. We'll get the official number, but that's what people seem to be saying. That's been reported. A couple of different people have weighed in on that.
So then there's a lot of roster bonuses or option bonuses and guaranteed base salaries.
Yes.
Because what they would do, because his base salary this year was supposed to be $3.85, they would stuff some signing bonus in there, pay him whatever the signing bonus is, and that'll give him what a normal base salary would be.
People are saying, by the way, too, that Alfred won't clear waivers, but Alfred is a vested veteran, so he will be free to sign immediately with anyone he wants.
He does get cut. I mean, he said in camp, like, I wasn't given any assurances that this would last since the start of the season. And
he was given $90,000, basically.
Right.
What would you do with $90,000? We act like it's no big deal, right? What if you got $90,000 today? What would you do?
But to clear it up, does he get the $900 now? Because for the season, is that guaranteed now for the season?
You never see you again.
He gets his full salary.
Yeah,
he should.
So he doesn't get $90,000. He gets $900,000 because he's on the roster right now.
Matter of fact, if he signs somewhere else too, I think he could double dip with his.
So the Cowboys are due for this regardless.
Yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no offset there.
Nope.
So it works out very well for Alfred Morris. And the other part of it for Alfred Morris is that he went through training camp, so he's ready to go for any team.
He could go with any team.
And not to say that as if we're making it. We haven't made that cut ourselves.
I
don't think you can double.
Let's say change the rules on that. I know that
because you only can do it once in your career.
Right. I don't think he's done it before though. I don't think Alfred has done it in his career, so that's why I think you're right, Mickey. You can only do it one time. So
why'd they keep the extra offensive lineman?
That's a good
Brandon
question.
Knight.
I did not see Brandon Knight making this football team. And I think a lot of it has to do with Mark Colombo. I think they like the fact that, and I need to ask this question, but maybe now I can ask other questions other than Zeke questions, which is good.
Which is all you got in the Jason Garrett press conference today.
To me, Brandon Knight was, when they moved him from tackle to guard, it was like, they were in a mode right now where they were thinking maybe trading. They were trading Redmond. They were talking about teams were talking about potentially trading for him, and so Knight became kind of a let's see if we can get Knight to we like him at guard a little bit. And let's see if we can, we like him enough. And then with the situation too that they were running into with McGovern, if McGovern was healthy, I don't think that Knight's on this team. I just don't. I think that they'll say, okay, we've got a center and a guard. I think Knight. Maybe they're going to train Knight to play.
Who's your outside of Cam Fleming? Who's your swing tackle? Who's your next tackle?
Connor Williams.
Yeah. Okay. But he's your starting left guard. He's your starting left guard. And Brandon Knight has the ability to play either.
He has the ability to play. He played tackle at Indiana. He started off here at training camp as a tackle, and then all the injuries happened, and they moved inside. So I think if they had to go play a game without, say, one of their tackles, and
let's say Tyron. Okay, let's say Tyron. If something flared up on Tyron, and you had to go play, and Cam Fleming's starting at left tackle, who's your backup tackle then?
It's probably Connor Williams. He actually took some reps there in the spring.
Yeah,
early in the spring, just as an emergency situation. I mean, Zach Martin could play tackle in a pinch too.
But because of the back flaring up on Zach Martin, the Tyron Smith ongoing,
I think you always want a young guy to develop. And they don't. And
they can't really develop McGovern right now because he's hurt.
McGovern could have benefited. You talk about Tony Pollard benefiting from getting all those reps for Zeke. Think of what Connor McGovern could have got if for all the time that Zach Martin was out. Think about all those reps that he. We're all so excited about Tony Pollard. We could have been excited about Connor McGovern too.
And they must have thought Brandon Knight might get picked up by somebody too.
Possibility.
Couldn't get him to the practice squad.
Maybe the good news was for Su'a-Filo that McGovern didn't get any reps.
Yeah, that too.
Exactly. He might not have been here.
That's true.
If he's as good as we think he's going to be.
See, to me, if they have a huge problem at tackle, I think they move Connor. I think they move him and they plug in Su'a-Filo and they just go to battle that way. I really do. Or Joe Looney. I think that either way they go. I mean, they're probably more comfortable because all Su'a-Filo can do is play guard.
Yeah,
he can't play center.
He's not a center.
So they might just keep, and then they've got if you don't trust the remember we saw jumbo packages too with Joe. That might be something that we're thinking about. If they don't think these tight ends,
I think we'll be seeing that. I mean, when you look at the situation at tight end,
if you don't think these tight ends could block at the point of attack, they're going to put Joe Looney in the mix out there. So
I can see that a lot.
To your point, Bill, I mean, Jason Garrett said the other day, tight ends are so hard to come by, especially nowadays, the way the game is played in college and stuff like that. The next position is offensive linemen. If you've got some, you're keeping them. That's why, I mean, Brian's point, they had a lot of injuries in camp, and it was difficult to find guys off the couch who could step in. So if you've got one like Knight that you kind of like and can maybe play a couple positions, don't risk him out there on waivers.
And you're going with 2 quarterbacks, so
yeah,
and only 5 wide receivers.
There you go. All right, we continue with more Talking Cowboys in just a moment.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
It's time for tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup, and now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper Soft Coolers at OtterBox.com.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
And Jack Black, you know what? They're after your own heart. Here's this week's special. Show your pits who's boss. Pit Boss antiperspirant and deodorant. You get 2 for $26. It's a $38 value. So check it out. Get jackblack.com. Get you some Pit Boss.
You got your.
I'm
yeah, there
sorry.
you go.
I'm sorry.
You had it.
My
there.
typewriter is up.
What do you got there, Bill?
It's Zeke signing his contract.
All right.
There you go. I don't know if you can see that.
Go ahead and show it
Probably
again,
can't.
Bill. Now
All
we got the
wait,
camera.
Wait.
Not on me.
All right, there you go.
There it is.
There you see Zeke signs his contract right there. He's got such a smile on his face.
He's happy.
No wonder. You'd be happy too if you just signed a contract like that.
I assume he's going to be available today in the locker room. He usually talked on Wednesdays.
Or
in the
what
past.
he with the
Lindsey Draper got a few minutes with him though, so go check that out. I don't know if that's posted yet, but yeah, it is posted.
It is posted.
So go check it out on our channels. DallasCowboys.com.
Was he happy?
I thought he might not be available to the media today because
he may
of the
not
press
be.
conference tomorrow.
He may not.
I would imagine it's tomorrow, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Unless he talks today, and then he didn't want to talk again tomorrow.
And they'll just have their own press conference tomorrow? I don't know.
They got to have
Jerry.
a press conference for this.
We're flying by the seat of our pants.
Hey, it's the biggest.
Jerry
No, I'm not
wants to
gonna
have
do
a biggest what?
No, I'm not. Never mind.
Oh, you were going to rag on somebody in the media.
Shocker.
I was going to say, when you sign the biggest contract for a running back in NFL history, you better have a
that's
press
right.
conference.
He was happy, Mick.
All right.
Oh,
we got an
Lindsey
update
Draper.
from Lindsey Draper. Can we put a mic on her?
Can we take your mic and give it to her?
Oh,
You know what?
I'm
Now
getting
that we
fired.
got this taken care of, aren't you happy? It is football time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, that's the thing that, again, you have to go through, have to navigate all this to get to this point. But yeah, you are happy about it. You're happy as, I think there's, Will McClay and that group that put this team together. They have to be happy about, okay, how training camp went. That some of their young guys, they need to see the continued development of their quarterback. They need to see what Kellen Moore. I think that's really still the biggest question. We don't know what Kellen Moore is going to do. We've seen 30 practices, 4 preseason games, but we haven't seen him in the real games. Calling an offense. We'll see how creative he can be. I think that's you can talk about all these players, but I think that it's going to come down to his ability to get those playmakers going during games. Make sure that Dak Prescott stays on schedule. Make sure they stay ahead of the chains. Make sure they don't get sacks. Make sure that the ball is going down the field so they can run the ball. But again, I think that's the biggest unknown right now going into this season for sure.
More than anything for me, it's just finishing drives because especially with Amari Cooper, they were able to get chunks of yards and get in position down the stretch last year, but the overall point totals didn't really rise even when Cooper came back a little bit. But it's more about just cashing in when you get down there. And they've got some extra weapons to be able to do that this year. Witten's back, so we'll see. But, yeah, I don't think he showed his hand at all.
I think that
so far.
Michael Gallup is like you talk about 1A, 1B. I think Michael Gallup is turning into a 1B. I really do. I feel like, though, that his development, his growth, the fact, again, here's another guy that got a ton of reps playing as the one. In this offense during training camp, and I don't think he did anything to disappoint. There was every day that he was making some type of play, and he showed that coming back for the football, working the sidelines, being strong along the sidelines, playing a vertical routes, going up and getting the football. I think you have to be excited about him and what he could bring. I think you have to be excited about Travis Frederick playing center. I think his defense is going to be really damn good too. I do. I feel like that, you got guys. I think the Giants are going to have a hard time blocking these linebackers in this game. I really do. And you could see Leighton Vander Esch, Smith, Sean Lee in the mix. Those guys, I could see them making a lot of tackles in this game. You're going to have to get bodies to get to Saquon Barkley. And I feel like, though, this defense could do that. And I'll tell you what, guys, they might get in this game, and we need to see this. But Byron Jones practicing, he might not be your starter this weekend. I mean, they might go with Anthony Brown, somebody like that, and just work Byron Jones in there. We'll see how the week progresses for him, but he's kind of in the same boat with Zeke and some of these other guys that haven't had really any training camp.
And see, I look at him. I agree that I'm not expecting him to start this game because he's coming off the hip surgery and he hasn't had an opportunity. And I look at that in contrast to Zeke because I assume Zeke's been healthy and he should be in shape.
He's through all the OTAs and mini camps and stuff like that.
See, of all those other guys, he's the healthiest. right?
Yeah.
They're all coming off of some sort of surgeries that they've been holding out. So to me, Dorrance Armstrong and Kerry Hyder, Taco Charlton, whoever's active, those three guys are going to be important.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to come in. Those, Lawrence and Crawford aren't playing 60 snaps.
No.
They may not play 40 snaps.
That's the most intriguing matchup to me because Brian and I talked about this the other day. It seems like, at least on paper, this Giants O-line, they've done a better job of of improving that.
They have.
And trying to protect Eli a little bit better.
Yeah.
And we will dive into that tomorrow here on Talking Cowboys. We can dive into football, and they better not take these New York Giants lightly.
Nope.
Okay, that does it for Talking Cowboys for this Wednesday, and we will talk at you again tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?